All right. Yeah. So welcome to the pilot episode of the Scuffed Streamer Podcast, where we have absolutely know what we're doing. And I also didn't write an intro for the actual podcast. So
Scuffed.
we're gonna go ahead and pop right into it real quick. We're gonna start off with a little bit of introductions first. So the first person we're gonna start off with, Mr. Chef.
Guys, welcome to the first pilot episode for Scuffed Streamer Podcast. I'm Chef the Shooter. I stream on Twitch. I am mainly a Tarkov minor in variety streaming now. I've been a professional chef for over 15 years, worked in every side of food service, but a lifetime gamer and lifetime member of being Scuffed. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the show.
All right. Next up, we have Stungies, aka Bungo, aka the Bald Wonder.
Not that bald. There's hair there. I am Stungies. I'm from Wisconsin, where there's absolutely nothing to do but play games and drink. I stream on YouTube. I play Tarkov, pretty much any first-person shooters. And I'm terrible at all of them.
Ain't that the truth?
And he's also Scuffed.
Yes, also Scuffed.
All right, guys. Berserk Bowser. A couple of you guys might know me. A couple of you guys probably don't. Active duty military, right? I've been active duty Navy for about 9 years now. I stream over on YouTube basically every time I feel like it, but normally Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Most of the time it is Tarkov. If it's not Tarkov, then it's basically anything else that I can possibly rage at, because games induce fucking hate into me, and I'm perfectly okay with that. Yeah. We are the Scuffed Streamer Alliance, and we're gonna roll straight into the show. So, the first thing that we're gonna hit on here today, right? State of Tarkov, right? The game that we all love to hate and hate to love. Yeah. So, how are you guys doing in Tarkov?
I mean, how is anybody really doing in Tarkov, right?
Yeah.
Like, I want to, before we get into that, I want to get one thing straight: is we are not demons, we are not landmark, we are not pro Tarkov players, right? We are your run-of-the-mill, common, average Tarkov players. We don't have stashes that are 30 million, 100 million in rubles just sitting in the bank. Some of us are just struggling by. So,
man, I'm lucky if I can keep $1 million. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't want people to think well, what's the state of Tarkov when you have 100 million rubles, right? No, we are the guys that know that it sucks to scrape by. Me, not so much. I got a little bit of money in the bank, but
Yeah, more than all of us.
it is
Probably
rough,
combined,
right?
actually.
It is rough to maintain money in Tarkov as a whole. It always has been, I feel like, and I'm only in 2.5 wipes now.
Yeah, I mean, average. I mean, Chef's probably got about 2,000 hours, probably coming up closer on 3,000.
Something like that right now.
I just hit my 1,000-hour mark in Tarkov, and I think Bungo, you're probably at 500 maybe.
Yeah, 500 or 600, I think.
Yeah, Tarkov is in a kind of weird place, right? They're pumping content out. We've gotten more content in the last 2 years for the game than we have any other fucking time. With it.
That's why I'm kind of glad that I got in when I did, because it's been nothing but new updates and stuff since I started playing. There hasn't really been a really big. This is the longest gap that I've had since I've started playing in the last 2 years or so, where there hasn't been a major change. Is this wipe, which is 4 months.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
I can completely fucking agree with that. I started probably 5 or 6 wipes ago. Didn't really get into it too heavily until about 2 wipes ago. When I met all you wonderful fucking, some of us hairless people.
We just keep circling back to that.
And so, listen, if it makes you feel any better, some of us are extra hairy, so we make up for it in other ways.
That's true. We're average. If you average the 3 of us together, we've got hair.
All together, we've got hair. We're fine.
Yeah.
I could probably shave my face and rehair Stungy's head. So if that needs to happen,
Probably.
we can make that happen.
I will say though, so 100%, the last this wipe has probably been the hardest. Easiest for content, but hardest for just gameplay, right? We got a bunch of, the standees, the standard account people who are running around unchecked. More on that later. But it's hard because you got all these new people that are coming because of the drops on Twitch that constantly happen in the beginning of every wipe. You've got all the new content that's coming in, and then you got guys like Landmark, and he's a god, don't get me wrong, and I am not talking shit about him, but he puts what I feel is a wrong message out about the game, that you can just run around, W key everywhere and just murder everything in sight, which for the majority of Tarkov players is not going to be the truth.
Definitely not the case for me.
Tarkov's always been, or is supposed to be, for the people that play it, not every day, but people that consistently play the game, not for little Timmy that gets on after school on Friday and plays for 2 hours and then cheats because he only has 2 hours to play.
Yeah,
I would agree.
100%. I mean, you also have like the implementation of inertia this wipe, right? It was, from what it seemed like, it was meant to tone down that whole W key warrior aspect of the game, right? They wanted the game to be hard. They want the game to be realistic. And I mean, I'm not military, but like Bowser's active military, like that's not realistic for war scenarios, right? Like, you're not going to be a Marine running through the fucking hallways, jiggle peeking in the fucking doorways like this at 15 miles an hour. Like, it's just not, it just doesn't happen, right? You get fucking clipped, like running around with 80 pounds on your back, you turn that fast, you're falling the fuck over.
Well, one of the things too you got to look at, right? So you got inertia, right? We'll talk about that a little bit, because inertia basically only matters until you hit max level, right?
Yeah,
you hit
for me right now that I have strength and endurance, it's like almost non-existent, I feel like.
And so just so you understand, right? So like, and we've all seen those raids where like the streamers come out and they're rocking 80 kilos, right? I want to put that into like American perspective for y'all, right? That's roughly 176 pounds. And you're telling me that you're running at full speed, 10 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour with 176 pounds on you. It's just not possible.
And maneuvering.
Even moving with a 55 to 60 pound kid on you is not, it's not something that you can just do.
Yeah, it's not an easy task.
There's a reason why everyone hates doing like ruck marches and everything like that, and having to go for runs in your fucking kits. It's not, I won't say that they've grasped the realistic part of inertia yet. It definitely needs a lot more tuning to get it to be effective. Not that I think that they should. I mean, they should not get rid of the whole W key, warrior way, because it's a way to play, right? You got the guys who want to run around like a chicken with their head cut off, and then you got the guys who, they want to go in tactically and stealthily, and be able to catch you while you're running around and potentially catch you by surprise and win the fight. But who knows?
Is there a point where it's going to be too much though? Are they going to dive into it too deep and make it too realistic to where it's not fun to play?
Honestly, I don't think so. If you watch any of the streams where Nikita gets, people bring up stuff that like they've implemented that isn't realistic, right? So like your serve kits, you're not going to perform a 15-hour surgery on the battlefield to replace your fucking stomach that you just got blown out, right? It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
They are working on finding a balance between what is fun and what is realistic.
I mean, Nikita said it a few times that he wants the game to be not casual, right? Like, and I get that, having something unique and one-off and like unlike pretty much anything else out there, right? I mean, people say that like the cycle is like Tarkov, but like I really don't think, just because it's a first-person shooter and it's like a looter shooter survival game,
the cycle
it doesn't play the same.
No, the cycle I would classify is casual arcade Tarkov. It's like it's Battlefield versus it is Battlefield, versus Call of Duty, right? They're both roughly the same thing. Like they all have domination, they all have massive TDM modes, but Battlefield has always been the more simulation version of Call of Duty, where the cycle is an arcade version of Tarkov. The guns in fucking cycle have virtually zero recoil. Like you literally just point and shoot.
Yeah, well, I mean, but that's another like issue in and of itself with Tarkov, right? Is like these your PMC is supposed to be a trained military like operative, right? You're not
100%.
just like Jim walking off the street like, give me a gun, let's go. Like, I mean, I've shot a few different guns, like some of the guns that are in Tarkov I've shot. Like, I don't feel like the recoil on these weapons is what the game plays it to be in terms of like just base guns.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Right? I mean, there's no reason you should be taking a few shots out of an M4 and you're like pointing into the sky, right? Like,
so an M4 on full auto, right, it will kick you back, right? You're not
yeah,
gonna
100%.
you're not going to be able to just hold it like Call of Duty, right? And just hold that shit on somebody's face. It's just not gonna happen. But when you got Tarkov, right, which has the most elaborate modding system of any first-person shooter, and you're throwing on all these things that actually do in real life functionality, right?
Yeah.
That will literally stop that gun from having basically any recoil.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're still sitting there going, the gun's going everywhere and going crazy.
Yeah.
And then you talk about like, their ammo isn't based off of real life metrics. It's not one of.
I mean, they're. Oh, good.
It's not one of the things that I don't think that they've gotten at yet. Is M855, is it gonna pen a steel plate? Probably not. But then you've got these things sitting here and you're like, yeah, but if you shoot the plate 900 times, you'd be like, okay, first of all, you're not going to live through a gunfight that you got to shoot 900 times.
Yeah, I mean, we've all run into the guy that just can't hit shit, right? Like, if you're in a hole, well, okay, yeah, I mean, me too. Don't worry, I'm in the same boat. We're all there. Like in a firefight in a hallway that's 4 foot wide, if I'm letting 60 shots down range, like just the odds of him getting hit one time are there, right?
Oh, 100%.
In Tarkov, I feel like you can spray it from point blank range and it's just no hit count. It's like, huh? Mm-hmm. Like, you mean I didn't just shoot this guy in his fucking face from 2 feet away?
Well, I mean, the thing you also got to look at too is, I mean, Tarkov's netcode is literally like held together by band-aids, right? We have seen the massive desync where, like, we've all been killed by another streamer, right? Where you're like, okay, hold on a second. You pull up his stream, and on his side of the screen, he was around the corner for fucking 4 seconds.
Yeah.
And he shot you in the fucking dome 12 times, and then on your screen, it literally was like, oh, I saw a sliver of his eyeball, and I died.
I mean, that happened to me and Bungo the other day, right? Yep. We were running Lighthouse. Bungo's like, oh, here, come on, look at all this fancy, expensive stuff that spawns here. Walked into this fucking garage by the resort, and there was a guy sitting on the stairs to the 2nd floor. And just unloaded. He was like, bro, on my screen, I hit both of you. I'm like, dude, you didn't even touch me. Like, I was already through the doorway before you even shot. He's like, yeah, fucking desynced, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's showing more, right, in the new patch, right? So first night me and Bungo were playing together, I noticed it in the first raid we played together, and then the very next raid, you're running with your buddies, and then all of a sudden one of the dudes just like stops moving, looks like he, disconnected from the server, and then flies forward 50 feet. Forward, yeah. You're like, okay, Superman, calm down.
Bro, did you see one of the, it was a clip on one of the ETF what the fuck videos this last week?
Mm-mm.
A guy was running interchange, running up the back ramp to Ollie, and it like blinked into the middle of the mall. Legitimately teleported from one location outside to the inside of the mall. Hello? And he's sitting there. He's like, it literally like screen like blacked, and it was just like he was there. And he's sitting there. The guy, he was streaming. He's like, chat, like, what?
Shortcut.
Yeah, it dropped him like right in front of Trend.
Hell yeah.
Like, the guy literally got teleported across the map.
Talking more about, the new patch is fucking, DLSS, everybody was hoping. I know, Bungo, you can't use it because you're running an older card, but, everyone was hoping, because Tarkov has had notoriously bad frames basically just across the board. It doesn't run well. It has never run well. The only places that do run well is basically factory or labs. And then the first iteration of DLSS comes through, and you basically can't use any optics at zoom.
Yeah.
I literally pulled it up, ran it, and I've got a 3090, right? I don't need to run DLSS, or I shouldn't have to run DLSS. And was like, oh, here's this huge blurry spot off to the right of your scope. And by the way, when you zoom in on your scope, it's just gonna look like blurred mess. Like, we're just not gonna show you anything that you actually want to see.
Yeah. Oh, Bowser, for all of us, and I mean all of us, I mean myself, can you explain what DLSS actually does for us? Because
so DLS, right, to simplify it, right? So if you're running at 1440p or 1080p, right, it is going to render the image at a smaller scale. So for 1440p, it'll render it at 1080. For 1080, it'll render it at 720. And then it uses an AI system to upscale it to whatever you're actually supposed to be running it at. So instead of being true native 1440p, it would be 1080p upscaled to 1440. On a lot of games, you can't even tell the difference besides the fact that your frames will be astronomically better.
Okay.
In Tarkov, so here's the fun fact, right? So they did that hotfix yesterday, which was supposed to fix a lot of the problems. So I was like, okay, hold on, let me turn on, DLSS. I literally got less frames when I turned on DLSS, which is the complete opposite of what's supposed to happen.
What it's supposed to do. In true Tarkov nature, we fix one thing and break several others.
Yeah, 100%.
That's kind of every game though. They say we fix this, but then you end up finding 3 more bugs or creating 3 more bugs.
Yeah, I feel like Tarkov is particularly notorious for that though, right? Like I saw a clip from Willers this morning of him looking down his scope, and he was looking into the sights of another player.
Oh, that's nuts.
Yeah, apparently it was a bug back in like alpha days, like old bug. But it seemed like it was pretty recent. It came up on my TikTok or something like that. He's literally ADSing down scope and looking at somebody else's scope who's hunting rogues by the camp.
Yeah. I understand, right? Like I want to give Battlestate every break in the book that I can, right? Because they are still classified as an indie company, right?
100%.
But at the same time,
I feel like they do more than most
100%
AAA titles,
100%,
like by far.
But at the same time, like one of the things that I constantly think about is, can I really consider you an indie company if you've sold over 1 million copies of this game that you charge $140 for?
They got the money.
Like, the money's there.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're like, oh, but half of those were done during sales. Okay, well, the sales are like EOD for $110, right? And the majority of players who play this game have EOD. I mean, standees are popping up a little bit more now, but that's for completely different reasons. But it's one of those things, like you've got the money to hire guys that know what the fuck they're doing. Their AI team, literally, this was their first project doing AI.
For Battlestate.
Yeah. Like, that's why you've got, like, you think of games like every Ghost Recon game ever, right? They've got, like, this tree of decision-making that the AI has to make, and it's got thousands of possibilities. That's why the AI in those games are so well. And then you got Tarkov, it's like, yell, run at you, slide,
shoot,
reload, eat, and then one tap you in the face.
There's nothing in between.
No.
Usually in my case by 7 mil buckshot, unfortunately.
Well, and that's one of the things too, is right. So they're huge on the lore of Tarkov, right? It's been this ongoing thing forever, and scabs are supposed to just be like run of the mill civilian idiots with zero training, and I'm like, this dude just one-tapped me in the face from 300 yards with a shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I can't do that. I mean, up until literally like 4 days ago, scabs had zero inertia. They could run at you 360, smash down to the ground prone, and then jump back up and shoot you in the head, looking like they're breakdancing. You know, it's nuts.
Cue funky music for scab dance.
Yeah, no shit. All right. You know, we all know where Tarkov's headed to, or what they say that we're headed to, right? I personally don't think that Tarkov will ever reach open world status. I don't see how they're going to do it with the amount of performance problems they already have.
Yeah, that's just a server nightmare to do that.
I don't see it happening anytime soon, but I definitely hope it happens.
Oh, I want it to. I would love to be able to just transition across the whole map of Tarkov, get into these amazing fights. But the other thing I also look at is, fuck do you do if you're on a raid for like 9 hours making your way across Tarkov? You're right about to fucking finish and you get killed by an extract camper. I would flip my desk.
You punch your fucking monitors off the mounts
Like,
and just throw your fucking computer tower out the window. Just take the whole thing. Just fuck this. Like Office Space that bitch. Take it out into the backyard with a baseball bat and crush it.
you know, what I think they'll end up having to do, right? I think that the limitations of Unity and server-based hosting is going to make them do is it'll be like raids that connect to other raids. Right? So
so you instance from one instance to the next.
Yes. You know, I don't think it's going to be like, oh, I'm going to start off in Streets and walk my happy ass all the way to Lighthouse. Because then Bungo's never going to leave Lighthouse. We already know.
Absolutely. I will set up camp in the Lighthouse.
You can only check the stashes so many times, studies. That's it.
Oh, you can check it as many times as you want.
Well, and no. So you bring up another good point without even meaning to, right? It's what the fuck do you do with loot? You know,
you have to like restock the loot every time somebody loads into the map.
Or do you set the loot on a recurring timer? And then what happens when those timers get found out and some dude just fucking hugs Marked Room for, 12 hours?
It's got to be like a vicinity thing. So there's players at Lighthouse all around. The loot is not going to regenerate there. But across the map where there's nobody, it might regenerate there. So you have to traverse the map to actually keep looting.
You'd have to basically rezone all the maps into like subsections for that loot to spawn in, I feel like. And then also like, I mean, if you're loading in, right, you're saying you're going to go from fucking Lighthouse to Streets and back. Like you're going to have to reload these instances and basically run it as like you're loading in as a scav in a sense, right? Because you're loading in part of the way through another ongoing raid section on a different grid of the map.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it all depends on how they're going to do it, right? If the cycle can figure out how to do a constantly regenerating loot pool, I'm sure the guys at Battlestate can figure it out. I'm interested to see where this game goes. But, it moves into our next topic very easily is Tarkov getting too infested with cheaters to survive? Daily now. It used to be like maybe once a week. You ran into somebody and you're like, there's no fucking way. Literally now it's like at least once a stream you run into it. Where you got this dude who there's like the guy who killed me, Bungo, and CJ last night was nowhere near any of us and then shot me in the face as I was jumping down from somewhere and killed Bungo and then killed CJ like within seconds of each other.
You know what I didn't do that raid? I didn't look up. I'm guessing he was just up in the air shooting down at us and none of us knew where he was because I didn't hear any footsteps.
Well, and we also weren't near each other and it was all the same dude.
Because he had wings.
When was this?
Last night,
yeah.
Like an actual, like he was actually like flying.
No, we don't know.
I'm guessing he was. I didn't hear any footsteps and he was shooting all of us from like we were all in different locations.
So I was, train side going to Old Gas.
Mhm.
I jumped off the train heading into Old Gas, got one tapped while I was midair, straight in the face. CJ was on the opposite side of blue fence, got one tapped literally 5 seconds before me. And then Bungo was on the opposite side of power, like heading towards cut through,
Yeah,
and gets fucking one tapped
by the same guy.
by the same guy.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, did you see? I got a clip of us playing. It was like me, Whitey, Sarah, and we ran customs. We spawned at campfire, ran up towards dorms, hit past the containers. The minute we passed the containers, it was a headshot, headshot, headshot. All three of us from across the map. Didn't even hear it. All you heard was a dink bang off of Sarah's helmet, and then it was just all three of us were dead. Same guy. And the guy's name was literally "I'm cheating." Like, how does that not get flagged? Right? You flag somebody like Jopa's name, right? For instance, because Jopa means ass. But every name on Tarkov is like, I fucked your mom. Or like some wild racist shit pops up all the time because kids are dirtbags. Like, that stuff doesn't get flagged. But Jopa, I mean, like, come on.
I mean, I have better ban terms on Twitch than they do for their ban system.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, I mean, Tarkov's anti-cheat with Battle Eye is, I mean, let's be real, it's kind of to say the least.
I mean, do you guys think that what Nikita said have been in the past about like AAA titles making hacks for the game to like bring down the playership being a possibility?
I thought
honestly, yeah.
Like, do you think a company like Activision is like, no, they're gonna fucking destroy COD if this ever gets off the ground? Like, our player base on PC will be gone. Just releases these packs to these little dickheads to sell free carries and cheat packs for fucking $10 on TikTok. Which is a fucking problem in and of itself, right? Like, how does TikTok not bring these people down for like fraud and like copyright infringement?
Because it brings them money. TikTok doesn't care. TikTok's
these little kids aren't making TikTok that much money on like doing lives for selling cheats.
It's a Chinese company. They don't care. They're just there to get some money.
I guess. I mean, you really think they're bringing ad revenue like that to not just be sued, like have their fucking pants sued off by Battlestate?
I mean, the thing is, I mean, if Battlestate was going to sue people, or if BattleEye was going to sue people, we probably would have heard about it by now.
I don't think they'd start on TikTok. I think they'd go for the cheap manufacturers.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying it would just be like one of those steps in progress of like getting that cleaned up, right? Like, these people are just like blatantly allowed to be cheating and promoting, selling, like, I mean, because technically it's illegal, right? Like, you're what's the fucking
You're breaking terms of agreement.
Yeah, like, you're breaking TOS.
So it's not technically right. So it's weird, right? Because it's not illegal per se, right? You can break TOS and they can ban you from their platform.
Yeah.
Right. So you could make a statement in court like Destiny did, where you drove player bases from that game, which cost them X amount of money.
Yeah.
Do I think Battlestate has the balls to go to court? Especially, you know, say we find out fucking 5 years from now, right, that Activision was behind all these cheat manufacturers, including the ones for their own game, because, you know, they can't handle that either.
Yeah.
It would be kind of nuts, because then, you know, you got, you know, who owns fucking Activision now? Xbox.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. Do I think it is possible? 100%. Because you got, you know, games like COD, which are, you know, falling off heavily. You got games like Battlefield, which they just released the worst Battlefield that we've ever seen.
Yeah, I was gonna say they made a Battlefield that just fell and never got back up.
It was really bad. I tried to get my money back. They said no.
Yeah, it's a fucking shame. They should have done the same thing they did with Cyberpunk. Like, the game was just fucked.
I just want to say I called Battlefield was going to be horrible, and I still got conned into buying the fucking thing.
So, I mean, the thing is, right, it's like the gunplay for the game was great. There was zero content. It was missing like 90% of the normal Battlefield like shit, right? There was no scoreboard. How the fuck do you not have a scoreboard in a competitive first-person shooter?
Yeah.
You know, you had no VoIP, which was unknown for fucking, like, no in-game chat at all. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You're a AAA studio. You're run by EA, right?
Yeah,
EA.
you should be able to, these should be like basic, like bottom tier things to do for these type of games.
Well, the thing is, right, is we all know, right, that Call of Duty, Battlefield, all they do when they're making a new one is they go, okay, we're going to pull all the models from the old ones. The entire system is going to get pulled from the old ones. And we're going to slam it in there, and then we're going to reskin everything, and we're going to make it look pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you do? Move the whole model in and went, yeah, scoreboard? We don't need that. Voice chat?
I mean,
we don't need that.
I know we're going to get into this in a bit anyway, but like, you even have, Bowser, what's the MOBA game that you're waiting for? I watched videos on it yesterday.
Predecessor.
Yeah. I was watching video play of Predecessor yesterday, right? Like gameplay video.
Mm-hmm.
And we were sitting there talking about it, and they have like very simple like things that like, you know, like user interface stuff on screen of like what buffs your character is getting, how long your buffs are going for, the scoreboard. A game like League of Legends didn't have a fucking scoreboard that worked for like damage dealt by characters until season 7, apparently.
Yeah. Well, so that's the thing too.
You have these like small companies that are putting out games with just like the base mechanics. Those base mechanics make games like enjoyable for players.
Well, the thing you got to look at, right, is I think we're in the realm, right, where all these, you know, AAA studios, and I don't say all because there are a lot of really, really stellar AAA studios out there, but like the big guys, right, like Activision, EA, you know, Riot, they're getting so comfortable with the position that they're at that they think that they can just release anything and people are going to buy it. You know, look at Vanguard sales. The lowest sales since Modern Warfare 1. Like the original.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
they're not even making games anymore, right? They're making the same game and selling skin packs.
Yeah.
They're not selling content anymore. They're selling cosmetics.
They just want the money. They don't care about the actual game.
Yeah, like Fortnite, right? Fortnite came out as a free game. It's probably one of the highest grossing games of all time now, if not it is, because of skin packs.
Yeah.
Every 12-year-old in existence, like, Mom, I need this skin for Fortnite. My 6-year-old niece calls me like, Uncle AJ, I got, you know, 100 or a 90 on my report card. I got all A's. I'm like, oh, that's great. Like, what do you know, like, I'm gonna buy you something like a present. Like, what do you want? She's like, oh, I want V-Bucks. She's like, I want, you know, Fortnite skins. I gave this girl $100 in V-Bucks, and I like as a test, right? To be like, hey, don't spend these all at one time. She called me 2 weeks later, Uncle AJ, I'm out of fucking V-Bucks. I gave you $100, kid. It's like 10,000 V-Bucks. You should have been able to buy half the skins in the goddamn lobby. She's like, well, I bought like 5 skins.
Or 1 skin for Valorant.
Yeah, like that's craziness. And it's like you're playing the same game over and over again, but I can be fucking Zorro or I could be fucking John Wick. Like, sick, bro.
Well, so, and you don't want to get me started on Epic, right? Because I'll go for like 3 hours on why the reasons behind I hate Epic games.
Well, yeah, well, they also dumped your favorite games, so
yes.
I mean, yeah.
But like, I don't blame Fortnite, right? I do not blame them because they did it right? You know, they were the first persons who came out with a battle pass where if, you know, you completed the battle pass, you got all your money back.
Yeah.
If you know, they were completely free. They were, you know, throwing content out like left and right and left and right. And like they did phenomenal with it. I blame these other companies where you're like Call of Duty and they're like, oh, hey, buy our $60 title. And then also give me another $25 for the battle pass. Oh, by the way, our skins are also $35 a pop. You're like,
yeah.
You're like, either go free to play and do the battle pass shit, or let me buy the game and you give me the fucking shit that I paid for nothing.
100%.
It makes me miss the old days of like Modern Warfare 1, 2, 3, Black Ops 1 and 2, where they had season passes. Right? Because you used to get like fucking 7 maps in one bundle. And then the next fucking season, there's another 7 maps. Like Modern Warfare 3 had something like 30 something maps by the end of it. We're lucky if we can get like 10 maps out of fucking Call of Duty now.
Yeah.
And then half of them are remasters.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're saying that you missed those days where they had like a good battle pass system. I miss the days where you actually had to grind and like do achievements, like wearing a skin or like a gun customization was like a badge of like, yo, this motherfucker got like 10,000 headshots with a sniper rifle to get that skin. Like, this dude is a bad motherfucker, right? Like, having these things were like a badge. You were like fucking wore that shit like you were like a fucking Purple Heart in the military. You were like fucking rock that shit because you earned it. Now it's like, oh, you want to look like a bad motherfucker? Here, give me $25. We'll make you look like the baddest dude on the planet.
Well,
you
the
can
other
still be
thing,
dog shit, but
the other thing too that you got to look at, right, is the change in gaming since we were kids, like internally, like as gamers, right? Back in the day, if you got your ass slapped up by like a Prestige 9, you weren't going, man, that guy really needs to go touch some fucking grass or get some fucking head or something.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, but you're a baby, Bungo.
Stungies was the 9-year-old that told us he was fucking our moms back in the day.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
We were like 18 playing like Call of Duty, and Bungo's here at 12 years old, like, eat my ass, loser.
Oh, I was the guy, like, if you killed me and I thought it was not cool, like, I would find you on the scoreboard, open you up in the Xbox chat, and I would send you a little hate mail.
Oh, God, you really were that 9-year-old. Holy fuck.
Yep. I'm fucking your mom right now, nerd. All juiced up on fucking Kool-Aid and boxed macaroni and cheese.
It was more like, I'm going to get your IP. And then it's like 9 years old.
I'm hacking. My dad owns the Xbox. I'm hacking your account right now.
Yep. Bungo's look, he had 9-year-old master hacker just IP dropping people and getting people swatted on Call of Duty.
I mean, later in Modern Warfare 2, I did do that, but...
Oh, God, Bungo.
Well, I had a JTAG, and like with the JTAG, you had programs to where anybody that's in your lobby, you can pull all their IPs. And then all you need is just simple
Bungo.
DDoS. But it was fun.
Jesus Christ.
Bungo was a degenerate growing up.
Yeah.
Degenerate child, got you.
You do like modded lobbies, you sign into people's accounts, and then you're like, well, do I give it back? And then you just get more accounts.
God, you were a horrible person.
This was years ago. I've changed. I'm reformed. I don't cheat anymore.
Sent, scuffed, confirmed. Got it.
Yeah,
that was
100%.
So scuffed I had to cheat.
One of the things I've been looking at, because I love video games, right? It's basically that and streaming are my only two things that I enjoy. Besides, like, going out to the movies with Iz and everything, right? But there's, like, no, like real solid, like, multiplayer games coming out.
Yeah.
Like, everything's solid. Like, the new Horizon game that came out, the game was phenomenal. Elden Ring fucking, blew everybody away. And then here we are, the guys who love multiplayer going, I guess I'll just go fuck myself.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're having it as a group, like a problem finding like a solid group game to play because we can't just play Tarkov all the time, right? You get burnt out. It's a very abusive, like demanding game in most cases, and there's literally nothing. Like there's nothing great that we're all like, oh, I would totally fucking do that.
Yeah. Last night, fucking me and Bungo tried something completely different. This dude's at fucking 10:30 at night having a fucking, meltdown.
Yeah, a major panic attack.
It was terrifying.
Like, oh, I've played Hunt the Showdown. I know exactly what this is about.
It's changed a lot.
I mean, I'll say this in and of itself, right? I've never really watched much gameplay, but watching you guys play that last night made me want to buy the game. So if Hunt Showdown, if you're listening, sponsor us, please.
Oh, dude, like that game when it first came
Oh,
out,
wow.
and I've loved it since it first came out. But when it came out, God, it was so bad. It was so bad. It ran like dog shit. Like, I mean, but they were
Even
honest,
cranked the
right?
graphics, and it was still horrible.
Yeah.
Like, ultra everything, it was still terrible graphics.
And I mean, they were honest about it when it first came out because they dropped early access like 90% of fucking games do now, and that's another problem with gaming. But they've consistently worked on it to the point where like it is, if you compared it to 3 years ago to when it dropped early access, it's a completely different game. Like, the sounds are immaculate. One thing that Tarkov still fucking for some reason can't get right is, sound. This game, you can fucking hear the direction and rough estimate on how far a gunshot is from you. Like, you're not sitting there going, is that at crack or is that at Ruaf? Or maybe it's by crossroads. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it's over there somewhere.
It's in that general of fuck you.
It's to the left. And then I
Those
realized I
are
have my
shadow
headphones
walls.
on back. Well, no, but then I realized I have my headphones on backwards, and it's actually coming from the right, like I did
Yeah.
before we started this podcast. I had to turn my fucking headphones around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
I told you I pulled a shift the other day with wired headset.
Oh,
Like, I
Jesus.
was
Just
like,
so
why
you
is my
know, if
wire
we're
over here?
anything, we're consistent, guys.
Oh, 100%. Always fucked. That's why I was so glad, like, moving over to the IEMs. Like, they're color-coded. I can't fuck it up. I got a blue one, and I got a red one. I
What do we
can't
do
fuck
for
it
the
up.
colorblind?
Well, they only fit in one ear.
Oh, I guess,
If you can find a way to get the right,
molded.
if you can find a way to
Yeah.
get the right one into the left ear, you get some problems.
You should see a doctor immediately.
Yeah.
Listen, don't get me started. I saw a video the other day of somebody putting all of the pegs into the
The one
square
hole,
hole.
yeah. I saw that.
I was watching it. I was like, this is giving me anxiety so bad. Yeah, I don't know if I could finish the whole thing.
It's just an accurate depiction of my life. Everything goes in the same hole.
Yeah. So we got
Wait, hold on. We're just gonna breeze right past that.
yes.
We're just gonna breeze right past that comment like it didn't happen, right?
I meant whatever.
Well, so one of the things I wanted to, we've got different generations of gamers here. Me and Chef are obviously a little bit more closer than Bungo to the rest of us. Bungo being the baby of the group. Is it just me, right? Or is gaming getting stale for you, or is it that things are just not as they used to be, right? Or is it the world impacting you caring about games?
I think it's just getting stale because I've been playing games for so long. It sucks to say that, but I've gone back and played games that I loved, like old games like Simpsons Hit and Run. I was like, I had a blast playing the game. I'm gonna go back and play it. I played it for 10 minutes. Like, this is the dumbest game I've ever played. Why did I play this? Why did I like it?
Why did I spend weeks on end playing this
Like,
game? Drinking Mountain
missions
Dew,
and
just
stuff,
Well,
Like,
because
all you did was drive around and hit shit.
everyone's played Skyrim, right? Basically, every fucking person has played Skyrim. If you load Skyrim up on your PC right now, you go, what the fuck is this?
Bungo is shaking his head that he's never played Skyrim.
He's an FPS nerd.
Dude, I have played Skyrim with basically every character in every combination possible. I've got countless hours into Skyrim.
I think it's honestly, I don't think that it's that like it's getting stale for us as people. I think the pressure of the world that we live in nowadays is making gaming stale, right? Because as adults going through what is going on in the world right now, there is so much fucking shit that is constantly being just like pressed on your fucking shoulder that the things that you enjoy more are slowly just, you're getting more aggravated at the things that you want to enjoy.
You're just expecting more out of the games.
Well,
You
100%.
expect it to be better and have more fun, and then when it's horrible, then your expectations are crushed.
Well, we also have to, I mean, for me, right? Like, I started playing video games with the original NES console.
Yeah.
Right? Like, some of my first games ever played were like the original Mario.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like sitting down with my mom and beating Super Mario 3 for the first time. And it was like it was my fucking birthday. We went nuts. Right? The problem that I feel video gaming has today is like the same thing that's going on with movies, right? Like, they are running out of shit to make games about.
Yeah.
The stories are all just blurring into one clusterfuck of like the zombie genre, for example, right? Like, It's all the same thing. It's the same game with like different colored zombies and a slightly different storyline, but like that storyline is 30 other stories just picked like one chapter out of these stories.
Oh, 100%.
Right? The only thing that I see having, I mean, luckily for movies, is like the comic book universe is so large that we have this like unlimited, we have this unlimited like universe of stuff to make movies about and characters that are like have years of story written about these one specific characters. And even if you take like little bits and pieces of them to make movies, you're good. Right?
Yep.
Marvel is not going anywhere in terms of movies.
Oh no, not at all.
But like, how many more versions of Call of Duty can you like put out before everybody's just like, it's the same fucking thing?
We're gonna be fucking
There's nothing
65.
new. Like, okay, you got a jetpack now, or like, oh, I got a fucking glider suit, or I can ride around on a pogo stick. Like, whatever the fuck it is, it's gonna be one different mechanic or one different skin. Like, they're just running out of shit to make like new.
Well, I mean,
is why I think Tarkov is such a big draw, because it is like kind of the first of its kind.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, you're 100%. I mean, because you have to look right at, you know, especially like first-person shooters are hard, right? Because most people just want a solid first-person shooter where you can just go and kill your buddies on it, right?
Yeah.
You know, and then you've got all these arcade shooters like Call of Duty and all these other places that are like, hey, we're gonna throw in this skill-based matchmaking. So if you want to play with a friend of yours who's, we'll say, notoriously worse at the game than you, one of you is about to have a real bad fucking time the whole time.
Well,
and then you've got
that you can't even queue together if you're too far of a rank from each other in some cases.
Yeah, for like
even first persons, but like other games for competitive, if you're too far away in rank, you can't even play.
Yep.
I have buddies that have Smurf accounts for like Valorant and these and that and all these other games just so they can play with their friends, because they're like young fucking Fortnite gods or, you know, Valorant fucking gamers, and they just can't play with each other.
Yeah.
Even Brody with Rocket League. Like, if he's too far out of whack, like, you just can't play with your friends.
No, I mean, you're right. I mean, Call of Duty has obviously, at this point, lost their ability to create something new. Hence, you know, Modern Warfare 2019. They literally went, hey, we're going to reboot a game that we did 15 years ago.
And it better be good.
You know, that people still remember. And, you know, now they're running into Modern Warfare 2, which is supposed to come out this year. And I'm sitting here going like, is this going to be the second year in a row that I don't buy a Call of Duty game?
Probably.
Which sucks, because like, if you look through like my PlayStation and my PC, I've owned every Call of Duty. I was gifted Vanguard. I've never installed it. I have no care in the world to play it. It doesn't sit well with me. The game runs like trash. Cold War got virtually no support from them. You know, I played Cold War for a matter of 3 days and went, yep, I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I
sad
hope
though.
it
It's
does
like
well.
watching a franchise that we grew up loving die, because like I remember like playing the first Call of Duty and having like that like big ass like just beat down with your friends of just murdering each other in the fucking streets was fucking awesome.
Well, not even that, man. I mean, remember how good the campaigns were for those games?
Yeah.
You know, when you saw a ghost get blown away in front of you, you were visibly angry.
Yeah.
You know, that betrayal like smacked you in the fucking mouth, and now you got caught, and it's like, hey, we're gonna do the same exact thing every game.
Just change the character.
You know, after Modern Warfare 3 and, you know, Black Ops 2 ended, campaigns for COD have just been garbage. You
I
know,
don't think I've played a campaign since Modern Warfare 2.
I played 3s, I played Black Ops 1 and 2s, and then I've not been able to get into them. You know, and now you got COD, who is supposedly going away from the every year model. This is going to be the last COD on the every year model that we're going to get, and they want to go towards what's called an always on model, which essentially to me, does that mean like Activision's going to merge all of their different development studios together and they're just going to like keep releasing content and charge you a subscription fee? because that was another leak that came out from one of their investor calls, is that Call of Duty wants to do a monthly subscription fee.
Eat my ass.
Eat my whole ass. I'm not doing that.
Yeah. You know.
Again, it's just one of those things where, like, they don't care about making games anymore as long as they can find a way to bring in more fucking money to keep putting out subpar games.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it costs a lot of money to put out a good game. If you can put out a fucking game that everybody's gonna buy because you can put it's like buying a fucking, like, Air Jordans, right? Like, what's the difference between Jordans and, like, wearing a pair of Reeboks or a pair of Vans, right? Like, the material's a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
They're both fucking sneakers.
Yep.
Right? They're both gonna do the same thing for you. You ain't gonna jump any higher or run any faster because you're wearing a pair of fucking Jordans over a pair of something else, right?
It's kind of
if they can just keep making hundreds of dollars on games because people are gonna be like, oh, well, I want to look like this character from my new favorite TV show, or like I want to pay for a skin that looks like this.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to put out a good game. They just keep slapping out skins. They don't. I feel like these dev companies don't even have devs anymore. It's like a team of artists. Like, guys, don't worry about anything. Just draw the skins.
Yep.
Like, did you see Free Guy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You didn't see it? Bung, you need to watch it. It was really good.
Fucking phenomenal.
I thought it was really good. Like, the whole concept behind it is like just like what we're talking about, right? You have this big game developer that's just like, fuck it, I don't care. We're just reskin everything. Reskin the whole game. We're gonna sell it as a brand new game, and it's gonna be the same old shit.
Yep.
It's literally what's going on. I mean, it's how it is. Don't just change the guns. Oh, hey, we're going to go from like the 1950s weapons. Let's go back to the Civil War. We'll give everybody fucking muskets and give them, the Patriot skin of Mel Gibson. They'll love it.
That still doesn't make sense to me, and why they brought like Cold War guns into modern era guns. There's no way that
they get slapped the fuck up.
Yeah, you can't put an MP40 against like an M4.
No,
it's just not.
You get fucking shot to shit.
Yeah.
And then you got this BR trend, right? Like, every fucking first person shooter and their mother has to follow it. And like, don't get me wrong, like the BR was awesome when it first came out, right? It was something fucking new. Everybody was like, holy fuck, man, like that was intense. Every time that you made like top 3, your fucking heart was sitting there just going.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it was like borderline sexually arousing, right? It was like getting into top 3 made you stiff. You were like, like there was 160 people there, and I'm one of the last 3.
And now every fucking person has to do it. Every fucking person. You got Halo, which it leaked that they're working on a BR that they're going to treat just like Warzone. That is going to be a completely separate game, and there's going to be skins, and it's going to be free. And I'm sitting here going, you are literally a cheater-infested fucking game run by one of the biggest gaming corporations in the fucking world, and you think that a BR is a good idea.
I gave up on Halo years ago.
Conceptually, Halo's kind of set up for BR, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you think about it, the vehicles are useful. The vehicles are all dope. Mechanically, they work well. You have aerial. You have, like, it's set up for it. I mean, you have your long-range weapons. You have plasma weapons, different types of grenades already in-game. Like, the whole thing is there, right? So, like, yeah, slap on some fucking armor plates or, like, a shield regenerator, and you're there.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's set up well for it.
When I think Halo, I don't think BR.
No, not at all.
But, I mean, conceptually, it works. Again, I don't even enjoy the new Halos. I remember playing, like, 1 and 2 like I was addicted to drugs on it. I was, like, sitting there for hours just fucking going. Like, getting a sticky nade was fucking so awesome when you hit one of your buddies right in the forehead.
Well, I think, this whole Halo, like Halo Infinite, regardless of how apparently great the story is, it was a failure to begin with.
I didn't even play the story for it.
I refused, because the thing is, they went, hey, by the way, that thing, co-op that we've had in every story ever? Yeah, we're not going to be able to release that till March. And guess what? It's fucking April, and it still hasn't released. You know,
I mean, that was a big thing, is like going for like the hardcore runs.
yeah,
like,
legendary runs with your
legendary
fucking
runs,
buddies.
trying to find skulls and shit like that, and like trying to figure out where these fucking things are hidden all around the map with your homeboys. Like, we know there's one here, we don't know where it is, so like search every crack and crevice for this little head. And like it was, again, it was one of those things where you strived for achievements.
Yeah.
Right, you strive to be like, yo, I'm like, my head is going to be like lit on fire when I play PvP now, right? Like something cool is going to be on me that lets people know that I did this, like, all the way.
Yeah.
But now it's every 12-year-old's got $3,000 worth of skins in their fucking bank. I mean, to be honest, if I went back and opened up my Fortnite account, because I have stuff from like early times,
100%.
I might be able to sell my account for like a few $100s, because I have one skin in there that like Tommy Two Toes wants to fucking buy off of eBay.
Yep. No, it's I mean, it's the world of gaming that we live in, right? Everything's cosmetic, zero content. You know, that's why, like, I was glad when, you know, they kept poking Nikita at Battle State for like, oh, we want more skins, we want that, and he's like, yeah, here's a puffy jacket, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
enjoy this new map with broken ass rogue AI that will one tap you the moment that you peek.
But you'll look good in a puffy jacket.
But you'll look fucking fantastic.
Your dead body on the ground looks beautiful.
You know, I mean, it's like you might be dead, but you're dead with swag. Right? But see, like, again though, like the tracksuit, right? Like, you see somebody,
you gotta earn that shit.
You are like, oh my god, I'm fucking dead, right? I have yet. Now we're 4 months into fucking Wipe.
I haven't seen Killer once.
I've seen him like 3 times, and every time he has mowed me down with a power slide and a one tap in my fucking chest. Every time. So just the thought that somebody has played it enough to see him 100 times and kill him. Well, right? If you're killing him 100 times, right? How many times do you think the average person would actually kill him?
Well, so
you gotta run it thousands of times.
I think so I watched back before I stopped really watching him a ton, mostly because of work, but Velian had like a tracker up on his screen, right? Because he does it every wipe. And I think for the 100 tracksuit kills, it took him close to 1,000 raids.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
You know, whether that be, you know, you get killed or he's just not there, or
yeah.
Like,
I don't even
100%.
like interchange.
No. I mean, interchange has got its own slew of fucking problems. You know, the lighting's all jacked up for some reason. There's fog on, the fog on the inside of them all, and you're like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of fucking sense.
It's got no windows, bro. The fog just rolls on in.
Yeah, fuck it.
Mysterious fog.
Russian logic.
Maybe there is fog inside in Russia. I mean, don't know.
Hey, it's cold enough.
Yeah,
it's just a temperature thing.
Yeah, maybe, you know, the heat's on really high inside and it's really, really cold outside, so it just makes this little.
It's literally like before you start the raid that all the scavs are like, quick, turn on the fog machines.
Yeah, see what they should do with it though? They should make it into a meme and run like next year's Halloween event, all fog
on every building.
No, in interchange, fog all the time in interchange, and put like cultists throughout the mall in interchange. It'd be a Bungo, you thought Hunt was bad? You'd literally need a new pair of pants every raid.
Dude,
I would shit myself.
The last fucking the Halloween event last year was nuts.
That was cool. I
like
the.
That was fun.
The cultists everywhere, and like that shit terrified me because you had no idea where shit was gonna come from.
And like the best thing was they put all Halloween masks on them, so everybody's running at you with like a fucking demon ghoul on or a Jason mask. They're just like, ah.
You know, I think honestly, I think Battle State will do well. I honestly hope that they start taking some of this money that, you know, the community has basically poured at them, being like, hey, we love your game, and I hope that they really start implementing like significant change, because I don't want to get so upset at the fucking game that like I delete it. Right, I really don't. I've come close a couple of times. There have been a couple of times I've hovered over that uninstall button, being like, "This fucking game is not. Nope."
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like a needed mental break from it every once in a while. I mean, it might be different from, like I said, like an average gamer like us in terms of Tarkov to somebody like, you know, Landmark or Pestily, where they can run and make 40 million rubles in a day's time, and it's like they're fucking jerking off half the time. Just like, I find it hard enough to read chat sometimes when I'm engaged in game, because I'm like, I feel if I take my eye off the game for a second, I'm gonna get fucking head eyes, right?
Well,
These guys
are gonna have chat during Hunt. I forgot about chat.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I was like, I literally fucked with you. I was like, 5-minute response time. Cool, we're good now. Yeah. It's like you get so like worried, and these guys are literally having gunfights, and they're just like, yeah, Chad, go to fucking head eyes, everybody's dead. And this guy's just like having a full blown conversation with fucking I love pizza in fucking chat. And I'm over here like, guys, I'm sorry. I'll talk to you in about 27 minutes. And then 30 seconds later, I'm dead. And I'm like, well, there you go, chat. I mean, it's like a totally different game for some people.
Oh, yeah. It's I mean, it's crazy. I mean, but granted, the difference is, too, is like, if playing Tarkov, right, was making me like $5,000 a day, like it does for some of these guys, oh, you can abuse me all you want, sweetie. Abuse me, call me dirty names, do whatever you want for $5,000 a day. Whereas though, like, we're sitting here and we're like, hey, today I got 5 views. I'm like,
hell yeah.
Spank my ass and call me Missy.
Yeah, right? What do you want me to do? Oh, you want me to do that for you? Sure, no problem. Dance for me, monkey, dance.
Because like the crappy thing is like, I can't imagine being like one of those streamers who has been so tied to a game, right? Where like you're pulling in like thousands upon thousands. I mean, think of when wipe happens, right? And Pestily is pulling in 87,000 people on average.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine being Pestily and being like, oh, wipe just happened yesterday? Yeah, I'm not playing Tarkov. Imagine how much his viewership would plummet. I mean, and he's, regardless of what he plays, he's an amazing streamer, and I fucking respect the fuck out of the guy. But like, for me, right, being a guy with analytics and numbers, and like, I'm constantly tracking, like, okay, why did this video do better than this video? Why did this do better than this? I would look at a like 50% drop and go, oh, I need a back to Tarkov.
Oh, fix this.
Yeah,
but you know what? Like, they don't need to worry about that, right? I mean, you have guys like Tim the Tatman, who literally plays basically nothing but COD anymore, right? I think he played Dead by Daylight sometime last week, but like, that's all they play is COD.
Half of his shit now isn't even him playing COD; it's him fucking doing reaction videos.
just chatting shit. I mean, but that's like. It's part of what he does, right? Like the beginning, like 2 hours of his stream every day, or him just sitting there bullshitting with chat, getting called a fucking bald bozo and stuff. Like they just
100%
on him all day long.
The next 2 hours is followed by him sitting in his chair commenting on solos.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because he's dead.
Yeah.
No, he spectates solos. That's why he just sits there and he spectates.
Yeah. He kills himself, dies to fall damage, as is normal for Tim. And then, makes a fuck ton of content off of spectating solos or Wordle.
Mm-hmm.
And that leads me to
dig into the ocean.
That leads me to basically our final topic for the night. Really is, this whole change, right? That's happening kind of within, content creation, right? Is YouTube going to come out on top? Is Twitch going to come out on top? Things that we've noticed, being that me and Bungo were both originally Twitch streamers. All right, we moved over to YouTube. Do I think Twitch will inevitably end up dying? Yeah, more than likely. Amazon will fumble the bag like they are consistently doing. And YouTube's just going to go, yes, send me all of your people. Because if you think Bezos gives a fuck about Twitch, I doubt it. I doubt that he cares. It's probably not even a blip to his net worth.
It's just an investment. I mean, he doesn't even care.
They make a lot of money.
No, so the thing is they do, but from what I understand, you gotta look, right? So it's like 140 billion hours of watch content on YouTube a day.
Mm-hmm.
Versus Twitch, which isn't even remotely close. You know,
but
Twitch
what's the total viewing hours of like streamed content, like
live
live
stream
stream content
has
compared
drastically changed since they pulled over the like Tim and Lupo, and now Courage is over here. Or Courage was one of the original people.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing, right? Are you having this influx of a number because you have like, let's say on the big side, right? You have like 100 huge streamers on YouTube,
Okay.
right? For like live content creation, right? Because I can't even name that many if I tried to for big guys.
Okay.
How many little guys do you have in the pond that are not pulling that watch time, like, right? Because Tim can himself on Twitch, if he's got 10,000 people watching him for 8 hours stream, that's 80,000 watch hours on one person a day.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's a huge chunk.
100%. But then you still have people like Pestily on Twitch who you can claim the same thing.
Yeah, but I feel like when people think of watching live stream content, at least people who are like into gaming and like in the communities, right?
Mhm.
They think of Twitch. Like, yeah, everybody watches videos on YouTube.
100%.
But anybody that I know that's a gamer, like, they odds are most of the time watch somebody who's on Twitch.
But you
Like,
also have to realize,
they
though,
might watch Tim or Lupo or one of these other big dudes. But like most of the people that I know watch
100. No.
Before you guys went on there, I never watched anybody live on YouTube.
So
Except for Lupo on the occasion. I would still watch somebody on Twitch because I just
I would agree. I would agree with that to a certain extent, right? Because 6 years ago, nobody besides like the most dedicated of hardcore gamers knew that Twitch even fucking existed. All right, so some of the
you've had guys with like like what's his name, like Ludwig and stuff like that. You have guys like XQC on Twitch who have like these
not 5 or 6 years ago they didn't. You know, you got to think one of the OGs of Twitch, right? Co-Carnage, a guy that I respect like more than any other streamer. I respect this man because he brings nothing but like the best of vibes everywhere he goes. Celebrated I think 8 years on Twitch the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is an OG of Twitch.
Yeah, I mean they also consistently get like thousands of views too.
100%. And you know, if that was 8 years ago for him, so 5 or 6 years ago, nobody even fucking knew what the hell Twitch was. But every person on the planet 5 or 6 years ago still knew what YouTube was. And when YouTube, right, YouTube, owned by Google as a company, goes, we're going to double down and we're going to invest in the streaming market, if you think that Twitch is going to survive, you are dumb. They have more money to throw than Amazon could ever hope to. And they own
hope to, but willing to probably.
But they also own like Google owns like 90% of the most used internet like sites. Like they own everything.
Yeah.
You know, and all they have to do is just literally just rework the way that their homepage works so that, you know, streaming becomes a bigger thing. And then they brought people like Lupo and Tim and Courage who sit the board to make these changes. You know, Lupo talked about it probably, I want to say like 2 or 3 weeks ago now on one of his streams. Because somebody was like, oh, you know, he was like, Twitch is still better, you know, because I can gift fucking subs and whatnot. And he was like, yeah, gifted memberships are coming. He was like, but YouTube is also not a company who's going to release a half-assed product, whereas Twitch released that, you know, the boost your streamer thing. And what happened the first day? They put porn on the front page of Twitch. Like not softcore porn, like porn.
Like just
like full blown, just like
P&V.
like just throttling down on somebody, porn.
Nice. That should be what Twitch is.
Way to go. GG's in chat for Twitch.
But it's, you know,
imagine the chat in that. Like, what are you saying in chat?
Hit it from the back.
Mom, what is this?
Just pog slide.
You know, I honestly, if YouTube wants to take the streaming stuff seriously, they're they're probably gonna just come out and slap some people across the face. Not to mention the fact that, like, and I'm not, I'm not shitting on anybody's streams here, right? But I can put 25K worth of bitrate to my streams on Twitch. I can actually do 50, right? And I'm not even a partnered YouTube streamer, right? I haven't hit my 1,000 subs. I'm not monetized, nothing. And they're like, hey, you want to stream in 4K at 120 FPS? We got you. You know, I have heard no issues with pixelation on my screen because, like, Tarkov is a hard game to stream, right? There's a lot of green, and green is not easily able to encode and stream, right? Veritas did a whole video on why Twitch streams for Tarkov always, you're running through fucking woods and
it gets grainy.
And it's just pixelated as fuck. I don't have that problem because I'm sitting there pumping 25 megabyte uploads to Twitch every fucking, for every frame. Being like, no, you're going to upload the entire goddamn photo. So much so that YouTube yells at me on the studio app. It's like, hey, you only need to use 9,500. Fuck you, take all my detail. You try and do as a, you as an affiliate, right? You have a 6,000 bitrate max. If you put in fucking 7,000, it's going to be like, no, sorry, you can't do that today. It's not allowed.
No. You don't have access to this.
Yeah, sorry. Pay me more money.
Back it up, bud. Slow it down there, Tiger. You're taking.
Do not have the facilities to do that, bro.
Yeah, all YouTube honestly has to do is just be like, hey, we're just gonna push our live content more. Because the biggest tell, right, on whether or not people will go to YouTube for streaming, right? And I hate using this, right? But the first stream that Tim did on YouTube clocked in at like 125,000 concurrent viewers, more than he did on average on Twitch. And he was super fucking happy because, you got guys like Lupo who move over, and Lupo, I mean, is still obviously making plenty of the bag, right? But I think Lupo clocked in at like 8,000 viewers, which is low for Lupo
on his first one.
Yeah.
Well, but so here's the thing too, right? Tim also, right? It's kind of silly, right? But it's the COD thing, right? Lupo doesn't play COD. If Lupo put out COD content,
he does put out COD content though. He's played COD with Tim and Dr. Disrespect.
like a while ago. Not like he doesn't do it often, right? It's most of the time. It's like now Elden Ring, Tarkov.
Yeah, 100%. He wants to be heard.
So Tim puts out nothing but YouTube content.
Oh yeah, I mean his
YouTube content about COD. Everybody that watches COD videos knows who Tim the Tatman is at this point, right?
Yeah,
they know who Nick Merckx is at this point.
Whips is a badass.
Yeah, well, 100%.
We all need a Whips in our life. We all need.
Yo, that's a fact. I do have a Whips in my life. His name is Bowser. Thank you. Shout out to Bowser for controlling everything on my stream because I'm scuffed and I don't know how to do any of it.
It's all right. I'm here for everybody. That's why I have a stream tech support in the channel.
He's like unanimous when it comes to COD now, and COD is I mean, I say unfortunately, but like it is one of the most watched categories on Twitch or YouTube for that matter.
No, I mean you're right. You're right. As much as I wish that COD would just burn to the ground and fucking die, it still pulls in the money. It does.
And they're making content with it, so I mean, like, props to him because it's like, like, what's the first thing you think when you think of like, soda, right? Coca-Cola, Pepsi,
Mountain Dew.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm just saying, but like, it's like
whiskey Coke.
Okay, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of whiskey?
Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels, typically, right? Yeah, like,
Black Velvet.
It's like one of the.
Not sponsored, by the way.
Bro, sounds like old man aftershave. Is that what it tasted like? Because that's what I imagine it does. Yeah. It's like very
$6 for that bottle, so it's cheap.
Bungo's overreaction to Hunt Showdown yesterday is making way more sense.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yep.
I'm telling you, it was definitely mostly the drunkenness of the Bungo.
It probably was. I was.
Yeah, like I said, not for nothing. It definitely made me want to buy the game.
Oh
So
no, I mean
gentlemen.
no, I mean it's a fantastic game. I love it. But we are going to wrap this here podcast up. I'm gonna roll through you guys same order that we did in the beginning, right? So it'll go Chef Bungo, then me. Tell these fantastic people where to find you guys. And yeah, then we'll roll the end of the podcast.
Sick.
It's on you, Chef.
Guys, you can find me basically whenever I want to on Twitch, twitch.tv/Chef the Shooter.
He's got no real schedule, chat. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm scuffed. Remember, I'm staying consistent here, guys. If
It's
like I
anytime
said,
after 10 p.m. or 10 a.m.
Yeah. Basically, any day after I wake up, probably Tarkov. But we're playing some single player game stuff to keep myself busy while my friends are all at work. So yeah, stop by and come hang out. Let me know what you think, and I hope you guys had fun because I think we did, right? I did, guys.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah.
I didn't have any drinks though. Kind of sad, but
Next time.
All right, go ahead, Bungo.
Episode one.
I mean, I'd love to say find me at youtube.com/stungies, but that's not how that works. So I need 1,000 subs for that. So go to YouTube and then type in Stungies, and you'll find me. STUNGEZ.
It's on the screen. Don't worry.
Am I pointing at it?
No, point down.
Is it here? Is it there?
Yeah, there you go.
This one?
TikTok's the same thing. Stungies.
All right. Yeah, so that'll wrap up our podcast. You guys can find me over on YouTube. Just search, Berserk Bowser. Once we hit that 1,000 subs, which we're hoping to do by the end of the year, me and the Stungies both the same. That way we can actually, start pushing more content to you guys, start giving you guys more reliable links, start having a little bit more fun with it, give you guys some emotes, some fun. But yeah, we are live most days of the week. On average, we're basically all Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're going to aim to do this podcast minimum of once a month. Going to try for 2. Really just depends on scheduling and everything like that. But yeah, we will catch all of you guys later. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Bye.
Bye.